Liquid can put a stop to that. It was the inter-champion select for game number 1. LeBlanc and Xayah, actually the first bans there for Dig, and Zach and Elise started off for Liquid. So kind of your standard red side jungle ban there, and Zach, and a good target versus Shrimp on the Liquid side.
Yeah, definitely agree there. The Xayah ban as well coming through for Piglet. I mean, we saw it pretty much every single game from them, the Xayah and Rakan combo, and they really do like the playmaking and the kill pressure you can get with it. Although Team Envy had a lot of success just drafting Caitlyn Karma into it, doing the classic shove wave and push down turrets early.
Well, there's Galio actually banned by Dig, which I do like. Golden Glue especially had one of the best Galio performances I've seen overall, but certainly from mid. Cannon, definitely a good takeaway from Ssumday. You do not want to give that man a 1v1 split push champion, and Elise is going to be the first pick there for Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, they ban away the Lee Sin from Shrimp, but then just picks up Elise anyway, who also extremely powerful early on, a very high ban rate nowadays because of the way that Elise can affect lanes early on. She can threaten dives for losing lanes. So now that you're seeing an Elise, from Team Liquid's perspective, you do not want to draft any lanes that are going to be punished super heavily. At least have, you know, decent wave clear so that you can't be the target of that dive and of that early snowball. Yeah,
and these are safe starting picks there for Liquid. Gragas and Karma actually are going to go away from playmaking potentially, and going to take Karma there for support. There's the Ashe lock in though for Lod, so going to Eddie carry that we have seen a decent amount of, but has dropped up a little with the rise of, say, Varus, and then obviously Xayah being the obvious pick, as well as Caitlyn actually, sort of notably absent from the state of the draft.
Oh.
There's Fiora for some. That was kind of my worry with the cannon ban.
Team Dignitas do not care about flex picks or whatever. Yeah, Gragas, you know, can still be moved around, and you can switch up, you know, to Renekton or something like that. Don't care. Fiora for Ssumday is such high value for them. They really prioritize getting him through the early stages, and since they already have Elise, that takes off a lot of the early pressure, right? You know, Elise is one of the best ones at punishing Fiora's early game. So definitely like the pickup here actually for Team Dignitas, and we'll see how Team Liquid respond. They've already shown that it will indeed be that Gragas top, so he just has to deal with the tank top. Shouldn't be too big of an issue for Ssumday. Doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of sources of pressure. Yeah, Rengar, we did see Dardoch go off, but that definitely required a bit of early focus from the team as well to get him some early kills. Yeah, and 3 Infernal Drakes.
ReignOver maybe not so much, so I mean, it has been banned against him quite a lot, so I don't mind the pickup here for Liquid, but pretty much every jungler ReignOver would want to play is open, and he has selected Rengar in the first phase, so we'll see if that does pay dividends for Liquid, but they're banning supports now in phase 2 with Thresh and Zyra taken off the table. There's Ari and Syndra as Dig going to target mid lane there. So taking some of Golden Glue's kind of playmakers and aggressive mid laners away.
Yeah, some of the premier mid laners right now. Of the rest of them that are left up, Taliyah though is very high priority. I know Golden Glue, he was talking when he was in Korea and playing a lot of the Korean solo queue, one of his biggest takeaways was learning Taliyah over there and training with some of the top Koreans, so that's definitely an option for him. Orianna is obviously the other, you know, mainstay as far as mid lane champions that are still available. They will wait till Team Dignitas reveal Keane, since Keane has had some nifty counter picks.
Certainly has.
Every once in a while.
See if he's got anything cooked up today. Looks like it might just be Orianna though. Yep, gonna keep it nice and simple. Take that one away. And I do like that Liquid have stolen the bottom lane that beat them yesterday in the 3-game series. Karma Caitlyn over to their side with their first pick out of phase 2, being that bot laner for Piglet. Just a matter of what we round things off with now. For Dig, looks like we need a support. We'll take an easy one there. Lulu and Ashe will actually be the bottom lane.
Yeah, so while Team Liquid yesterday were pushed in heavily and, you know, out CS by a Caitlyn Karma combo, it's a little bit more difficult to have that effect on the Ashe Lulu, but it's kind of the maximum range, maximum poke bottom lane for themselves. And as expected,
yeah, conventional logic,
Glue will be able to lock that in.
Dictates that Taliyah is kind of the pick here. It's very common into Orianna. It's one of the best mid laners available right now. Golden Glue, see if the training has paid off. He is going to take the meta champion into battle here versus Keane.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I like to talk to him a decent amount about some of the mechanics involved in it as well. And one of the biggest things for him was using that extra speed off your worked ground to dodge those first couple of trades early on, to not only be able to get your classic shove lead in the mid lane, but also if you can get that trade as far as the threaded volley and dodging out of the first command attack, Definitely can help out with some mid lane pressure. We'll see though. My biggest question mark right now is ReignOver's Rengar, because he had a tendency in the past to build it tank, full tank at first, then he went semi-tank. We'll see if he's actually going to have all of the damage, just rely on Golden Glue and Piglet, or if ReignOver gets in there and at least builds some.
Like I said, I've been very impressed with ReignOver's Olaf recently, and he tends to eat a lot of jungle bans. So Dignitas is sort of potentially taking a risk here by giving him free pick of the jungle, but we'll see if his Rengar can impact the map. On the Dig side, we've seen them play this style of comp, it feels like so many times, and as always, our highlight is going to start in the top lane there. At some point, people will start taking Fiora away from Ssumday, but until they do, he'll be blind picking it. Yep,
he's going to be very happy with that one. Yeah, until it either gets taken away or gets nerfed or something. As far as Team Liquid's side, though, for their hope, looks like the strategy here is going to be strong bottom lane that will take care of themselves as far as pushing. So that would or should open up this Taliyah pick to roam with Rengar. And that's kind of what we want to see from Team Liquid. Multiple players working together, either ReignOver plus Golden Glue roaming together, or Matt even buying himself some time to get out of lane and help out with that warding and roam as well.
Certainly a lot of opportunity for Liquid to make plays, but we'll see what happens here in this series. Dignitas and TL will take to the Rift for the final series of their weekend here in Week 2. Dignitas looking to remain undefeated after 2 weeks of play, and TL looking to do the opposite, trying to pick up their first match win after getting game win #1 yesterday. And looks like Golden Glue going to roam down here with Matt and Piglet. Might be trying to do something a little sneaky.
Yeah, overloading a little bit on the bottom side. See if they can, you know, maybe get a sneaky summoner if someone face checks in that side brush. Happens a lot more often than you might think in pro play. People giving up some momentum in the bottom lane. Not going to be the case this time around, though, and they'll swing up for a possible Raptor ward.
Looks like, again, just kind of sweeping vision on the area. Matt's going to check that brush with a Q, and looks like the Raptor ward is down, so we'll have some idea of what's happening. We can see Shrimp is currently on the left-hand side of the jungle. Might be challenging the Raptor side over on TL.
Yeah, I think that regardless if they get it in or not, for ReignOver, my favorite Rengar clear is definitely the full red quadrant clear, and just backing super early after that. Ever since the nerfs to him, he feels a little bit too squishy for more of the offensive ones. It's still an option if you have a game plan to work around some winning lanes and go for an invade or something to not do a power one side clear for an early level 3 and then back. But I feel like it's just the most consistent. Plus, the other thing that you get if you do a full red quadrant clear is you protect against a possible Krug steal, which is super common as far as people starting on the opposite side, and Krug is usually the camp left over. We'll see if he decides to go back or continue to the other side.
Well, right now it does feel like actually both junglers are starting on the red side. Shrimp did start on the Raptors after moving down from the left side, and looks like ReignOver is just doing that full side red clear that you described. So we'll see what Shrimp does, if he's going to mix things up at all. It's Golden Glue looking to harass some down. Does start to push the wave using that E. And we'll likely just push this through pretty quickly whenever he feels like it. One of the nice things about Taliyah is you have so much control about what happens in the early levels with all the minion waves. You can see Keane just going to guide this back, and Golden Glue gets a ward down as a result, which actually does open up Shrimp to get aggressive and try for an invade.
Yeah, it's not only that. Shrimp is already, passed into the river. I believe he probably repelled over to the dragon so that he bypassed any sort of the lane wards to go for this steal. And the reason that Shrimp is going for this invade on the blue quadrant is because Ssumday early put that ward onto Krugs. So just like us, they thought that Rengar was probably going to do that red power clear, and they warded for it. So with that extra added information, it has allowed Shrimp to go in for some counter jungling. So good team communication, team warding here, and some of those themes that we were talking about earlier already showing up.
Yep, might have just walked straight down, but looks like Shrimp going to try for a gank now. Piglet could be in trouble. He's going to get ignited and slowed down by the Glitter Land. Shrimp who's going to try and take it. Piglet is splashed already, and there's first blood.
Shrimp!
Get rooted. Shrimp takes too much damage, and Matt is going to take him down now. ReignOver going to shield in and try and get a counter kill. There's the slow onto Big with the bowler, but ReignOver needs to keep leaping. Goes to the brush, leaps forward, looks for Big. Actually, is the target as Matt gets the second kill also.
Oh, you can tell Matt was just baiting them to a little bit closer to that brush. He just wanted to get them close enough so ReignOver could get the jump off, and they do. So even though Team Dignitas had a very good setup and they're able to capitalize on that first blood, little bit of misclicks there as far as the execution cost them a couple kills on the way back, and that kind of salvages ReignOver's jungle as well, because his whole blue quadrant was just, you know, taken out by Shrimp due to the early warding, and then the first blood had gone over, but very big salvage play there for Team Liquid to turn it back around.
Now Matt with a huge roam actually going to try and root down onto Keane. Does get it there. Shove isn't going to connect though. Actually gets it, but late. Doesn't quite put him through the earth.
Yeah, a little bit crooked there, but a lot of damage done. And that is going to give you some more control here for the mid lane. So let's take another look here. Because Shrimp ends up at the end on this trap, which was really nicely put there by Piglet. And that allows Matt to get that counter kill and get the double bust. Then he baits Lod and Big over to the brush for ReignOver to come pick up these. ReignOver obviously jumping into the brush again for another hop to secure that kill.
Well, doesn't manage to get a positive trade there for TL. 2-1 up now after all the early action. We'll see if either these junglers do continue to stay aggressive or if they might just farm out the next few levels. Shrimp does still have a good amount of experience, actually up a level currently on ReignOver, and is invading on that side also.
Yeah, because he has all the timers for the small camps. Minute and 40 seconds for both of them, and now...
Oh, let's go! Over gets a flash! Cocoon takes down ReignOver and steals his jungle.
ReignOver, I guess he was a little greedy there. I think he definitely saw him come over and wanted to finish off that Krug, but Shrimp still had his flash, so that is going to be an extra kill over to Shrimp.
Does feel greedy. I mean, pretty sure he threw a ward over and then flew over with the blood cone.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of indicators where you're like, be more careful there.
Well, Shrimp actually going to stay up then in this jungle matchup. We missed out there for ReignOver. Could cost him a lot more. See if Shrimp does keep up the pressure. Mid lane now after the pressure on Keane. Looks like he's gone back for a second Durant and some boots, but
yeah.
let's watch this again.
All right, so let's see. Early indicator number 1 is the ward. Still wants to finish it with his smite, obviously. Second indicator is Elise herself flopping over. Definitely credit due to Shrimp there for flashing for the point-blank cocoon. But yeah, you have to say, after your flash is already down, because ReignOver used it in the bottom lane to get his own kill, got to play a little bit more defensively, have more respect for Elise's early game. Yeah,
and the thing is, Elise definitely one of those champions that can get snowballing. We've seen both kind of strong AP and more tank builds, but I think a lot of that depends on how you're doing in the game. And with this sort of start, you have to think Shrimp's going to start building up that damage, and then once again, all the threats you put onto the enemy, onto the jungle, but also the lanes, is just going to kind of help Dignitas push themselves through the mid game.
Yeah, definitely true. Regardless, though, he gets right back up. And look at that. All 3 of the players we mentioned working in concert to get themselves some vision around this mid lane. Lourlo, though, the victim of an all-in from Ssumday.
Yeah, Ssumday with the ultimate. Lourlo does use here, but Ssumday's able to flash out of the way. Now flash from Lourlo, but one more vital required. Not quite there for Ssumday, but forcing a lot of pressure onto Lourlo.
Yeah, Lourlo going to try and regenerate with his passive, casting spells, but Ssumday pressuring the wave in. And he's going to have to worry about jungle pressure here pretty soon. Going to back off very quickly as the control ward in Tribush makes things a bit scary. And you would guess that ReignOver's around level 6, even though he's not quite there yet. Dignitas haven't had vision of him, and it's very possible that the level 6 Rengar 7 minutes into the game would come with the ultimate to gank you. So Ssumday makes a good call, backing out. He doesn't have his flash after he just used it to try and get a kill there, and doesn't want to give over any of the momentum that he has gained up there in the 1 versus 1.
Yeah, it's actually 10 CS up still, was 20, although Lourlo got all the last hits under turret after Ssumday's all in. ReignOver, we can now see, has red buff and is now level 6, but actually backing for his next major item, does have the hammer built up, so going to get a lot more damage on his first potential ultimate.
Yeah, and as you could see there during that camera pan, a lot of vision for Team Liquid. If you count the wards on the map, it's actually 1 for Team Dignitas and a bunch for Team Liquid. That will take too long for me to count.
7 plus the speed triangle.
There's definitely their territory to work with here. I mean, Mountain Drake isn't the one where we see forcing a lot of pre-10-minute Drake fights. Inferno's really the only one that you get that kind of spicy gameplay from. But they definitely have the vision set up around bottom lane. 4 golden glue to be able to roam around with the Taliyah. And they can still go with that game plan of Taliyah plus Rengar roams. Both of them are post level 6.
Well, you can see Ssumday holding the way back from Lourlo. Shrimp was here to maybe look for a lane gank, but Ssumday's doing perfectly fine in this lane at the moment. Does have the Phage and the Ruby Crystal already moving into that first major item. Looks like he might be going Black Cleaver first, actually. Potentially wanting to abuse the wave for as long as possible. And Keane is getting chunked a little bit here. Golden Glue doing a nice job keeping pressure on, and does have a little CS lead for himself also.
All right, will they get seen on this invade? Doesn't matter. He's oh, does matter.
Very nice max range Cocoon, but Keane not quite in position to follow up with his own ultimate, and actually Golden Glue threatening on the bottom side. Dig know this is happening, but here comes Golden Glue, walls in towards it. Big could be the target. Polymorph is nice. Arrow's good, but Matt is going to tank it. ReignOver now pop the ultimate. It looks like they just have to pressure the turret. Oh, 2 ultis used and no kill.
Yeah, good polymorph there from Big. Team Liquid, thankfully for them, he hadn't taken tower aggro early, so they didn't get one of those big disasters that we have seen happen in the bottom lane with big roams like that. But as you said, 2 of those big cooldowns down. Those were the 2 that we were counting on for the big roam and the big mid and jungle synergy. So a little bit of extra time now for Team Dignitas, where they can just have Fiora scale very nicely up in the top lane and farm it on out.
And again, Ssumday getting aggressive, finds just the edge of that front vital onto Lourlo. And again, just continuing to abuse this lead for as long as possible. I mean, he's 20 CS up pretty much if you count the waves that Lourlo should be picking up now as they move towards his turret. So, I mean, this is kind of the doomsday scenario, it feels like, for Fiora, where she's free farming and winning her lane, and it's already bad and it's only going to get worse.
And this is why we talked about them being very happy with that, early pick. Fiora loves playing into sort of low damage tanks where she can sustain off of just hitting vitals and using that regeneration, plus threaten the kills as we've seen already. And not a lot of threat being posed in the top side of the map for Team Liquid. So it looks like a very easy route to the end game there for Ssumday's Fiora. And that is definitely a scary thing for Team Liquid.
And it feels like at some point Liquid have to make a choice. I mean, given how they've been playing, it feels like they want to snowball the bottom side instead and just let Lourlo kind of hang out and do what he can, maybe TP to a fight if it happens. But we saw the first play didn't work with the 2 ultimates and ReignOver and Golden Glue. You can see them roaming back down towards that side again, attempting to pressure more. But something has to give at some point, or Teal aren't really getting enough with the lead, and Dignitas definitely have a clear win condition.
Well, yeah, the thing that's going to give here is Dignitas play safe on the bottom side. They realize that we want all of our resources, committed to top side anyway. So they're the ones who actually go for the first objective trade here in Rift Herald and totally give up the bottom turret, as well as, having Big roam to the mid lane anyway. So now it will be Laud trying to just farm at the secondary turret, and Team Liquid should be able to go for the Mountain Drake as a trade for this Rift Herald. They're just being a little bit slow about it because they kind of want kills and they're looking for extra kills, but the bottom lane from Team Dignitas are playing safe.
Oh no! All right. Rift Herald stays in turret range, so no disaster there. It's actually Lod's getting dove. There's the arrow flash W there from Matt Big with a good little ulti. Lod's going to flash out of the way. ReignOver was trying to look for the assassination, but they might even get 2 turrets. They don't want the Mountain Drake, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't really want it. As I said, they are looking for kills instead, but you're running out of time because Rift Herald and Shrimp have already done their work. They got the top turrets, and now Shrimp is heading bottom side.
All right, bottom turret is down. Polymorph onto Piglet as Liquid collect the second turret of the game, but Ssumday still here with a bit of health left on the Herald. Oh, solo. Can't disable it during the charge, I guess. But
pinned him.
Gave it a go. Not too much damage, though. Rift Herald health does evaporate, and Lourlo going to take barely any damage on that next turret.
So Team Liquid make the call. They'd rather have the early gold than the Mountain Drake, pushing in for that secondary turret. And even though they don't get the kill, they do get a temporary little buff here as far as some extra global gold to work with. Ssumday, though, not done on this top side. The entire top side of the map is Ssumday territory, and he'll take that red, thank you very much, as well.
Yep, Blast Coins away, and now 2,200 gold to spend on whatever he desires. Big CS lead there as well. One of the highest CS numbers in the game so far, and we'll see just how these lane assignments swap up, if at all. Right now, it does feel like Dig are leaving their duo in that bottom side, but there is still a Drake up for grabs.
Teleports are ready for both top laners as well, so Vision being fought back here from Team Dignitas as they retake control of their bottom side of the map, and they don't want to cede over any more objectives here, so a little bit of a strong showing as Shrimp is shadowing the duo lane during their push up. Kind of necessary considering they don't have any turrets to fall back on.
Done a nice job setting up defensive vision in the jungle though. So we'll see if this siege does amount to anything. Lourlo ults the wave, but got, one creep. Not the best. but we'll see if Dig have enough damage to take this turret. And TL looks like they're just trying to race anyway. Already have 3 members moving up. ReignOver is lagging pretty far behind on this play, but Piglet and Matt with a nice big wave already getting nice damage down. But Dig will be ahead at least for this first turret.
And as much as you're talking about, oh yeah, and Team Liquid are trading a lot of these things for turrets, Team Liquid, they do want more territory to kind of work with. So Rengar and Taliyah have more room to get these pickoffs and collapse onto members of Team Dignitas. It's just a little bit scary for them that they're giving so much of the objectives and territory back over to Ssumday, who's being funneled a lot of the gold.
Looks like Big's actually going to join Ssumday here to make sure he stays safe. 3 members of Liquid already actually going in. Golden trying to wall them off as they're trying to siege another one. There's the Wild Growth though onto Ssumday to protect him from ReignOver leaping in, but a good shove there from Golden Glue. Does get some poke damage down. Arrow is going to miss from Lod, and the turret stays alive.
So Ssumday actually had the opportunity to go back on the safe side of that wall, but wanted to stay in the front to get a little bit of extra minions and extra gold, and he ends up not going down in it, even though a couple of ultimates are used. Still scaling up there. Team Liquid still hold on to that basically 1,000 gold lead from the extra turret that they opted to trade rather than going for the mountain, and Team Dignitas ended up in the end, claiming that mountain Drake. So it's very, very even as far as the objectives that they've decided to give up.
Nice to see Liquid being proactive with their cooldowns though. ReignOver and Golden Glue both joining that top side play and looking to make something happen. Rank 2 ultimates for both mid laners on either side, so much significantly higher impact on any play they can make. Looks like Golden Glue got a flash, but shouldn't get a flash after him. Golden Glue could get 1v1, does pop the heal and now kiting back towards Matt. Matt there with the shields, they might go aggressive again, but TL don't want to overextend.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, Shrimp goes for that one, and he does get the heal out of Golden Glue, but Flash on Elise is actually a really potent offensive tool, and without getting the Flash from Golden Glue, not quite worth it, I think. Maybe that was an instance of he thought Big was also going to commit with him and bring the Ignite and a little bit of extra damage, which may have at least forced the Flash out of Golden Glue as well. Not quite on the same page this time around, so maybe a little bit too much compliments for the communication as far as being on the same page for this team.
Shrimp falls back. Gonna go ahead and start the blue buff up for Keane. Almost all done. Keane throws the ball over, managed to collect that for himself. As you can see, looks like TL actually putting Golden Glue top lane for now and moving Piglet back to that safer mid lane.
Yeah, having Taliyah on the opposite side there, your goal is to push the wave again and then try and roam. It's not really, oh yeah, we love Taliyah as a 1v1 specialist, right? Split pusher. She tries to focus on those minions, but can't deal with multiple people, so gonna go for a play in the mid lane instead. They're walking over vision to do it though, so that should give Team Dignitas time to react.
Nice collapse here though from TL in general. I like the spirit of the play, even though the vision coverage is nice. Golden Glue though still going to commit onto Lod and Big. He's got to get there first, but he got arrowed instantly. Now polymorph happens. Let's flash up, but Shrimp is here first to the play. Matt can't defend him, and ReignOver can barely get over the wall. Now it gets torn down, but ReignOver still looking for the play onto Big. Does get the crit down, but he does have enough damage. Flash out of the way. There was Ssumday also TP'd up for the play. Keane looks for the ulti, does miss as ReignOver flashes, but he still dies to Lod.
Yeah, that's the problem with walking over the vision. Team Dignitas are able to react pretty well. They immediately focus fire Golden Glue, who gets there a long time before ReignOver, and if it's just Taliyah coming over into a 1v3, pretty much no chance there. Lod just nails him in the head with the arrow, and they take him down.
You already said not the best 1v1 champion. 1v2 is going to be an even tougher ask, and Dig will actually get quite a lot out of this play, taking a turret, using Ssumday's TP to kind of force Liquid away and make sure they keep taking objectives as well.
Yeah, unfortunate for Team Liquid there. But Team Dignitas happy to take that gold kind of handed to them and get multiple turrets off it. You mentioned that the Infernal Drake is the next one coming up, and given what just occurred, that gives Team Dignitas a lot more control here of the mid game and will allow them to really set up some extra vision to get this split push Fiora to start making some gains. She's level 11 with the 2.5 item spike, which is pretty much good enough to start with here for Ssumday. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Team Liquid try and deal with that pressure from this point on out, because they have to be more coordinated when going for big plays like that. They have to bring all their forces to try and pick off members of Team Dignitas, or else Fiora will just take her toll in the side lane.
Yeah, it feels like Ssumday's kind of hit that first threshold, springboard built, and now he's ready to jump up and really take over the game. Drake up in a minute 45, Baron also in a minute 10, but pretty unlikely to see that contested this early into the game. Dignitas almost got mid outer turret as well. Piglet's currently gatekeeping it, but it's, I think, one auto from Keane, or maybe even Big away from going down. So Dignitas should feel like they have the 4-3 turret lead. They should be up about 1,000 gold once they do take that. So the game is still very close on a gold value, but Dig kind of arrested control back of the map and should be looking to make a play around this next major objective in the bottom side.
Yeah, and if you do look at where the gold actually is, it's actually quite evenly spread across Team Dignitas. It's not, you know, all on Ssumday or anything. So it's not like, uh-oh.
Ooh, Ssumday looking to go all the way in for that play. Does get the turret. Rushes in with a bit of help from Whimsy there from Big. Haven't seen that one before, the Fiora Juggernaut, but I mean, Ssumday must feel so strong at this point, particularly with Lulu behind him.
Especially with the success that they had on Fiora yesterday. I mean, he's still got that kind of running through his veins. As of right now, ReignOver goes aggressive on Shrimp, though.
Good repel, gets out from under the bowler, but now back in onto the team. Ulti from Keane. He's going to set it back up, and ReignOver almost has the counter goal. Golden Glue is going to split them up with the wall as Lot is firing away, but gets shoved back by Taliyah. Does flash out, and Keane takes out Man. Managed to get a snipe with the ball as ReignOver still leaving him for the last kill. We'll finally get Lot as Ssumday chasing down Piglet on the right-hand side, forcing the flash out as Lourlo is going to defend and body slam up the Fiora. Ssumday now nowhere good to go. Does blast going away, but could be in trouble as Big is running back. Now Piglet's actually the one caught out in a 1v3. Keane just keeps rolling forward, gets himself a second kill, and Golden Glue and Lourlo are trying to pick up the scrap. I don't think they've got anything left to try and take.
Ooh, the coordination here as far as the scramble and getting away means that there is a lot of power left on Team Dignitas to clean up the Infernal Drake. They're not going to go for it, though. Ssumday's a little bit low. Oh, they actually are going to do it without him. He'll be able to make it much quicker, so Golden Glue has an opening.
Nice things that Shrimp did live. ReignOver actually now back off the respawn, I believe. So they're going to start and try and get their smite to the area ASAP. Shrimp does arrive. It has to be careful. Shove is going to miss from Golden Glue. Teleport in from Liquid's going to commit for it as Shrimp does smite the Drake, but he could be in trouble. Needs to repel away. Keane can't defend him forever as Shrimp finally flashes out Big. He's trying to get the shields up over the wall, and the repel is going to move him back down to the other side. Jukes them around. Keane defends with the ultimate, and Shrimp gets the Drake and escape.
Oh, that is good news for Team Dignitas. All right, Team Liquid, what can they do with the kind of pressure that they have as far as the health bars right now, though? They really don't want to let Team Dignitas get away with that one scot-free. So a little bit of Baron pressure, a lot of Baron pressure as they actually started up. This is risky.
Swept out the area, but they are just going to straight start, and Hawkshot is going to spot them through. Does get fired by Lod. Yeah, no, I think Liquid are like, maybe not. Matt took
Yeah. See, that's one of those frustrating situations where they just kind of stole this Infernal Drake right out from under your nose, and you don't want to let them get away with it, but there just really aren't any options. You've already been outplayed, and you can't get anything back. Regardless, let's take another look at this play where Shrimp, due to the repel, yes, he is going to die for this, but he's right in the middle of three people, and Keane gets off a good shockwave due to the positioning. That was a really nice shove, by the way, by Golden Glue onto the trap. Nice little combo there with Piglet, and they eventually kill Lod, but it does cost ReignOver his life. Meanwhile, Ssumday is able to kite those three people long enough that the split here from Team Liquid leaves Piglet by himself. Little Eddie carry, no cooldowns or mana left. And that is too bad, buddy.
Easy pickings there for Keane at the end. I misspoke though. Shrimp did die, but fight was long enough that he was able to respawn and run back to the Drake.
So you get back up. Huh, what happened here?
And you can see just how much damage Keane himself was able to contribute in the fight. I mean, again, extended fight, really favoring Dig. Ssumday doing the right thing, jumping on the carry of TL, and now they've started Baron.
Yeah, and this Baron should be taken. It's in complete fog of war, and Team Liquid are not going to get anything over here to check. So Dignitas coming with some buffed up minions pretty soon. And what do you want with a Fiora comp? Baron buff for split pushing. Perfect little fit there for them.
Yeah, if you guys thought Fiora was good, normally, now with a Baron empowered minions at her side and 2 items officially completed for Ssumday, things are going to look awfully tough for Liquid. They're going to have to weather 3 minutes of Baron empowered Storm. And usually you lose a lot of turrets on this sort of play. With a Mountain and an Infernal Dig, have a lot of map to try and take over and boost that gold lead from the 3,000 or so it is now to up to the 6,000-7,000 number.
All right, Team Liquid, we got to look for some stalling here. Gotta look for Caitlyn trap usage to try and wall off at least one lane. And Taliyah wave clear as well as Caitlyn wave clear to delay. As you said, you're usually going to lose a decent amount of turrets. Hopefully for Team Liquid, they can get away with just giving up maybe one and delay the push long enough while giving up that one turret that Team Dignitas don't get more. But it's going to be very difficult for them, and they might end up giving away both of their outer turrets because even though Ssumday has no kills, huge amounts of farm and a lot of pressure here on Lourlo.
Yeah, actually 70 CS ahead of Lourlo right now. Gonna grab even more as he gets his first Baron up wave towards this tier 2 turret in the bot lane. Digger doing the right thing, have everyone else sitting in the mid lane, and sure, Top's pushing against them, but Ssumday is like, yeah, Lourlo, you can't 1v1 me, even under this turret. Just gonna poke him there, make sure he grabs that vital, and Lourlo's like, yep, hands on head, I just can't do anything right now. Yeah,
the Caitlyn wall of traps does hold off one lane, but can only defend one lane that well with it, and Ssumday is able to take his toll. Now that that one's gone, gotta worry a little bit here for the mid lane even of Team Liquid. Traps are timing out, just put some new ones back down.
Keane that was actually threatening with a really nice flank, does have a Luden's finish, so he does quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, Golden Glue's been scouted out as well. They're worried of the Taliyah cutting their team in half around the turrets.
So top wave's also maybe starting to cause some problems for Dig, so you can see the pings down there. Maybe Ssumday's going to move over and apply pressure to that different lane, but with only a minute-ish of Baron buff left, Dig just try and get the maximum amount out of this next few waves.
Team Liquid doing pretty well stalling, but Ssumday's come to town again.
Good wall, but Ssumday trying to get over this. Does manage to repost that headshot. Moves his way over. Good knock up on the Keane. Actually knocks him through and away. Can't get him over the wall, but not enough to kill him. So Keane is going to be able to escape. Ssumday is going to go back and catch the top wave, get a whole host of farm for himself, and TL are going to try counter push mid lane instead. Yeah, still 45 seconds on the Baron buff, but as you said, with Fiora going back to get that big wave in topside, I think that Team Liquid have accomplished the goal that I set forward for them, which was to just give up one of those secondary turrets during the Baron buff. And you know, you can't do much about the Fiora turret, but they did defend mid well without giving up anyone. You can see Golden Glue was on the outside, you know, getting a little bit of chunk damage onto the back line. Piglet was clearing out the minions, so they survived for a little bit longer. Doesn't mean the game is going to get a lot easier for them, but step number one has been accomplished. And now they're just going to have to worry about Ashe arrows coming through to force these picks. Yep, next advance is coming for Dignitas. 30 seconds till the Ocean Drake is spawning. Golden Glue face checks Ssumday, or is it the other way around? Does get decent damage down, but I think Ssumday's suspecting he has a bit of help, and we can see ReignOver poking just behind, so no overcommit there from Fiora. Doesn't want to get into an engage that he might lose if there's anyone else. And Dig again will just continue playing with their very powerful split pusher as long as they can.
All right, Team Liquid, are they going to be able to make the pick? They actually do have a lot of you know, tools to separate someone off from the squad, and if they can immediately kill one member of Team Dignitas, you know, and turn the ensuing fight into a 4 versus 5, then they kind of have a chance. If they're unable to really separate Team Dignitas, though, during the fight...
Oh, actually could jump on Shrimp, but not even getting the Banshees out of that, actually. Arrow looking for Golden Glue, actually finds him. Keane just needs to commit the ulti, doesn't even need to actually, as Golden Glue flashes out of the way, but Ssumday just going to chase him down.
All right, well, that goes out of the window. No way to turn it into a 4 versus 5 in Team Liquid's favor now, because Dignitas beat him to the punch. That Ashe arrow does find its mark on Golden Glue, even with both summoners blown. And that should mean easy pickup on that giant minion wave that was building on bottom, plus the Drake for Team Dignitas. And this game is about in untenable situation here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, very out of hand, to say the least. Dignitas just built a great advantage for themselves. Ssumday is going to finally hit the recall. Looks like he was jungling briefly in TL's side, but the Drake goes over. Dignitas picked it up with no contest, and Ssumday goes back to what I assume one of his favorite things is taking minion waves, and looking to flame Horizon Lourlo. Should be there once he does catch a wave, although they're giving it to Lod. So Dignitas, the true team play, giving it over to their ADC when he needs it.
Need some more money on the Ashe. Maybe this is his reward for landing that arrow on the Golden Glue. It's like, you deserve it. You got Golden Glue, both summoners. Congratulations, Lod. How does it feel?
Well,
so juicy.
Ssumday, of course, catches the next wave, so Lod not going to stick around for the next bit of farm in bottom lane. Going to regroup with his team, and Dignitas will look for their next play. 7,000 gold up for Dignitas is a strong lead at sub 30 minutes. And we'll see what the next setup is looking for. I imagine Baron is on the menu at some point soon. He's going to be up in about a minute.
It's actually interesting. I wonder if there are, more opportunities to reward people for just high accuracy in skill shots, whether it is actual gold that you're getting or some type of visual effect for super high accuracy players with big abilities like that.
Could be fun. You can kind of track.
I like the in-game rewards.
Yeah.
Dignitas is like, okay, good job. Couple minion waves for you.
All part of that process, Kobe. Is Keane busy wave clearing away. Dignitas just making sure they don't lose anything else, and TL don't have too much map to play with, especially with Ssumday threatening that bottom side of the map and Baron coming up soon. They're gonna have to answer the pressure.
If you're looking at it right now, then Ashe looks like a pretty juicy target, considering Taliyah, Rengar, on the enemy team. But Lod does back off by the time that Team Liquid rotate over, so. Window closed. Not going to be able to pick off Lod today as he joins the rest of the team. And look at that. Fiora is already knocking at the door on the inhibitor turret.
Yep, starting to slap it. And Lourlo is just not even interested at all in defending.
Knock, knock, Pastry.
Who's there?
Look at your screen! It's Ssumday, and your inhibitor is gone.
I mean, they're trying for a Baron play now, but this is actually only 4v4. Lourlo now going to finally TP in, but I think Dignitas is trying to defend this way. I mean, Ssumday's got the inhib. He can TP in now if he wants to, and Baron's not even at 40% right now.
They're just delaying it here. 4,000 health left on it. They're still burning it down. Team Dignitas waiting for about 2,000 maybe to go for it.
Yeah, there's Ssumday moving in. Shrimp now jumps in, tries to assassinate ReignOver, who's almost going to get at the smite. Is there ReignOver? Oh, it goes down. Shrimp gets it. That kills the jungler. Actually, Ssumday getting credit for that kill, but they get everything off the play, and Ssumday charges in to assassinate the next one. Looks to Piglet. Piglet flashes over the wall. Shrimp nails a massive cocoon to make sure that kill goes down. Lod, he's going to grab that one. Ssumday will grab the next one as golden glue falls, and now Matt chased down by Shrimp. Again, the accuracy is going to be there. What will be Shrimp toward it? Maybe a support, but Matt zips away with the shield, and Dignitas only 3 kills on a Baron.
Oh, man, that is hard to watch there. It's just Team Dignitas take absolutely everything from Team Liquid, and that is going to be the way that we end this game. What an opener to this series for Team Dignitas. Not missing a beat after yesterday's performance and their defeat of TSM. Looking like a strong performance here to try and go 2-0 on the week.
Well, a little bit more work to do, but 2 inhibs down. Baron buff for a number more minutes, and Dignitas has played this so perfectly.
I mean, yeah, you can say there's not a lot of options for Team Liquid, but they take a lot of damage while Baron is going on. Team Dignitas, really good timing as far as when they choose to call down the teleport and go inside to kill ReignOver. They obviously are going to focus the jungler to take the smite off the table. Makes it so much easier for Shrimp to land it and take the Baron. But it's just a massacre now, and not too much hope left alive for Team Liquid.
Yeah, only one turret to really worry about now for Dignitas. Just going to move themselves over to the top lane. I imagine Ssumday will guide 2 different Baron-empowered super minion waves towards the base once that's all set up. And TL, they'll stay in this game, but they're going to need to make a chain of miraculous plays to get anywhere close back to parity.
Also, because Team Dignitas have had so much success with Fiora and with split pushing, they're also probably going to want to think about next game and strategies in picks and bans to kind of set themselves up for a bit of a better chance here, maybe. I mean, I did, in theory, kind of like, Taliyah plus Rengar, trying to roam down there for the pickoffs early on in the game, because Dig are going to want to stay spread out. But the first uses of those ultimates, as you mentioned, didn't net them a lot. And early on, the cooldowns on those ultimates are decently long. See if they can do something here, though.
Wall from Golden Glue rides in, cuts off Keane, ReignOver in there, but the Wild Growth's going to protect him. Shockwave only lands 1, but it's Piglet who takes the brunt of the damage. Shrimp is going to come down, but Ssumday is looking for the assassination in the backline riposte off the root from Karma, dips back out towards the rest of his team. And TL just running back to the fountain, trying to protect their bot laner. But they're losing their base in the process, and Hib falls down, and Baron is still up for 45 seconds. Shrimp, he's going to dive in, looks for Golden Glue, but does not get it. It's just a massacre right now on the base.
Yep, purple minions coming into the Nexus turret.
Well, they turrets fall at almost the same time. TL all 5 strong. Can they even defend their Nexus? Piglet evaporates under the power of Ssumday. He's on a rampage and Dignitas yet another win. One more game for Dignitas to remain undefeated after 2 weeks of play, and the manner in which they are doing it is most impressive. Sure, quality of opponent today is Dignitas going to come in feeling confident after such a strong win yesterday versus TSM, but you mentioned the macro play right at the top of the series, and it's just looking so clean.
Yeah, definitely a smooth victory here and a good opening for Team Dignitas on Sunday. But there's one more left to go, so gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I mean, we've already seen them use multiple split pushers as well, even if you ban out Fiora. He also had a really good performance on Lucian there for Ssumday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Kennedy, like, no, Lucian. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. So there are more options if they still want to stick with the same strategy. It doesn't look like they need to switch it up. We can take a look back at this game for people who have just joined and go over some of the replays to see how Team Dignitas got to this point, because it was very steady for them, just objective after objective, and never really were behind in this game.
Yeah, we're actually going to have a look at our first replay here and just kind of see where Team Liquid were trying to use their resources, but Golden Glue went on this play too early.
Okay, so this was one of the attempts where we saw the Rengar and Taliyah ultimates used. There was, even previous to this, an earlier attempt where they used both ultimates down bottom. This one resulted in Golden Glue immediately getting killed, and then ReignOver does get one back for them, but Team Dignitas have already had time to collapse because when they were setting up that play, Team Liquid walked over a bunch of wards, so Team Dignitas expected them to go for it, and they were able to set up the counterplay.
And you can kind of see how much setup Dig are able to do, because it felt like whenever TL were doing something, they were always behind, clearing vision, making sure the waits were set up. When Dig were doing stuff, it just felt like everything was falling into place. We'll take a look at this next replay now. 20 minutes in, Dignitas just winning the team fight and taking the Infernal Drake.
All right, so this is the one that was really neat because they caught out Shrimp, and Team Liquid are always looking for these picks, but even though Shrimp dies, he delayed and he got into position around 3 members to set up that big shockwave for Keane. Afterwards, Ssumday joins the fight and kind of draws the rest of Team Liquid away. So Dignitas are, in the end, able to take down ReignOver as well. And then Team Liquid split up here in the jungle. They leave Piglet. He gets cornered and just kind of sacrifice one of their members. That results in that Infernal Drake that you're talking about. That also aids in the snowballing here for Team Dignitas, and also helps out with a full damage building split pusher as far as the stat building goes.
And look, Ssumday didn't actually do that much damage in the game. Have the damage in front of me.
Didn't fight that many people.
Exactly. Just didn't need to, right? Fighting towers, fighting minions, getting kills down. We'll kind of see how it all coalesced. 30 minutes in, Dignitas getting a Baron, 3 kills. This was just wonderfully played.
Yeah, so this is Team Dignitas with a huge lead. Basically the end of the game already. And Ssumday, he's able to take down the inhibitor first, forcing this kind of play. And Team Dignitas, they slip into the back of the Baron. They put so much damage on ReignOver that he has to early smite or else he's going to die anyway. So you can't really blame him for early smiting in that case, because you're either going to die or you want to get your health back with your smite. So, it's more of a team issue at that point where they're so far behind in gold and don't really have any options. But yeah, the graph also tells a similar story.
That's about all the story you need, I think. Again, close for a little while, and then just the incredible snowball into that mountainous gold lead there for Dignitas. And again, you can see the damage spread. Like, Golden Glue and Piglet were both dishing out damage because Team Liquid were trying to fight for all these objectives. But it just felt like every little thing from Dignitas felt like it was very intentional, very calculated. I even noted like big minion waves coming down the sidelines. Most teams just like instantly be, oh, panic, and we have to go deal with that. The timing for Ssumday to go like, this is when I have to catch this wave because it's going to take X amount of time to get to that turret, and making sure they use their maximum amount of time on the map to make the play on the other side. Like, those are the things that, to me, stand out with why Dig's macro looks so good right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Team Liquid never had the pressure to really delay Team Dignitas, from going to pick up those waves or force something on the opposite side when the wave is crashing in bottom. So, yeah, definitely an all-around victory there for Team Dignitas. Again, another split push victory. They've done this very often, and we kind of expect more of it from them, so maybe we'll get more in game number 2.
We'll see if things change, but we're going to step away for a quick break. But when we come back, it's game 2 between Team Liquid and Team Dignitas.